On this episode, I mix it up with a tattoo-wearing, paint-slinging, jiu-jitsu practicing badass of a human named Sarah. None of that is what makes her badass, though. You see, the things I listed above are the way she takes care of herself. Her tattoos make her unique, well, not in Austin. She quit her previous career to pursue painting and challenged herself to do something she never thought she would do in jiu-jitsu. It's cool to see people try to be the best versions of themselves, and Sarah's killing it. We also talk about dumb and bad tattoos. Let's jump in. Hey everybody, welcome to the Model Good Podcast. I'm going to roll through this stuff real quick so we can get to my guest. My guy, Joe Andrade Media, he does all my video work, all my cool pictures, like look him up on Instagram. My guy, Jason at Wish Pocket, he does all my audio. That's why I sound so great and my guests sound so great. Yeah, you can do your audio if you're like in a band or like a bar mitzvah or whatever else you're doing, like he can do that stuff. My guy, Jaron, you can find him at No Names Originals. Support local North Carolina artists. He has a lot of cool art. He has a lot of cool art.
North Carolina artist.
Yeah, well, I mean, he lives in North Carolina.
Oh,
so
cool.
yeah.
Where? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
Morrisville.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Weird.
Yeah. So wait, you got a story about Morrisville?
I'm just from North Carolina, and also Morrisville is not a place that people live. Like, it's a small town.
Yeah, it's a very small town.
Yeah.
I think he lives in Asgard and he works at, I don't know, Jaron. I don't know where
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No.
Go on.
No, anyways, and so support people doing art. How about that? Like anywhere across this United States, right? And then last but not least, my guy Mo, he has the Go Bubble app, and if you put in the promo code Go Moderately, you get a discount. Don't know what it is, just do it. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, and if you're following on if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, click the follow button. It just helps us out. It's so cool, right? When people like follow you on stuff and support what you do.
Yeah. And rate and review too. That usually helps out too, right?
Yeah, like all those good stuff. Everybody say hi to Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi. How's it going?
Pretty good. So Sarah is probably the third or fourth person that I'm going to interview that I've never met before. So I'm totally stoked. So really quickly, give all your art, all your shout outs for all your things where people can find all your stuff.
Oh, God, I got to do that. You can go to my website. It's www.sarahnilson.com. Last name is spelled Nilson. You could go to my oil painting Instagram. It's Sarah Nilson Art. And then the thing that gives everyone a boner that it seems is my frog Instagram. It's called Just Forget About It.
It's awesome, by the way.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate that.
I love they're like little motivational, kind of like, it's a motivational frog.
Sure.
Like how would you describe it? Like describe what you would call what you do there.
Well, I don't know.
Just
man,
forget about it.
I guess I think it's a cartoon drawing of a frog that talks about the complexities of the human condition.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like a mini therapist. In a way.
Yeah.
And I think it's like just so cool.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah. How did that forget about it start? Like, how did that start?
So the backstory is that I lost my job from the pandemic. I was a bartender, and my dad is a painter in his retirement. So he was like, well, you'll never lose your job again if you are your own boss. So why don't you start painting? So he's an oil painter. And he gave me the task to paint 100 oil paintings. And that'll be a good way to like kind of learn the medium. And I got to 100 paintings and I didn't really have the support of my dad behind me. He kind of just wanted to like show me how to mix oranges. And I really just kind of needed somebody to be like, I think we've already said this in this podcast. Like I needed somebody to be like, yes, whatever it is that you're doing, yes, more of that, whatever feels authentic to you. And I didn't really get that from him. So I got through the 100 oil paintings and I was like, this is great. This feels good. And I enjoy the medium, but it doesn't really feel quite like mine. It felt like I was doing something to kind of like have a relationship with my dad and on a new level. So I watched this YouTube video where this dude said, a good way to hone in on your creativity is to draw the same thing every day for a year. And I had just done 100 paintings. So it felt like it was like just a little bit bigger than like doing 100 paintings. It felt like it was like, this is really where I want to put my energy. I felt like it was like the right place to be. So I was like, well, fuck it. You know, I'm not a big planner. I don't really want to like think about things too much. So I was riding my bike that day and was like, well, what the hell am I going to paint for a whole fucking year, man? I saw the sticker that said, I'm stinky. And there was a frog on it. And I was like, it was just silly enough to where I was like, fuck it, I'll just do a frog. And it started off like, you know, like talking about like dating, or like, you know,
was like something like is like what's on your mind that day?
Yeah, exactly. Because
it's like doing like it'd be like doing like a video vlog or something like that, or like just it's kind of the equivalent of like you could record a video on your phone and go like, I'm feeling like this today, but you did it through art.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. And I mean, it was the idea behind it is like, you know, it kind of like pushes your perfectionism to the side in a lot of ways. It's like, well, if I don't have to think about it too much. It's just, I'm doing one a day, like, and I can just like produce. Quantity leads to quality. So it kind of like helped me realize where I wanted to go. And also when you draw one thing every day, you get really bored with it. So you start to interject the little things that are funny to you or make it more interesting to you. So like I round this all back to, I really needed my dad's support to like continue me making art. And I wasn't getting it. So I kind of felt like I was channeling what I needed to hear through this frog.
Sure.
And I still kind of think that I do that. Maybe not as like specific to that moment, but like, you know, if I'm going through something, I'll like make the frog say it back to me with the advice that I need to hear.
It's kind of a processing, you know?
Yes, definitely.
But, you know, when I read them, I'm like, well, a lot of times when I read them, I'm like, I felt like that.
Yeah.
You know, maybe never felt thick, but like, I mean, I've definitely, I mean.
Yeah, same.
No. And I think that is probably what speaks to all these people. I think I'm always torn with this idea, right? Of like, when someone tells their story, how much is it for everyone else and how much is it for them?
Yeah.
But when you take your face out of this like story and you go, this frog is feeling this way.
Yeah.
You can get the same point across as telling your story, but not have to have people question whether your story is true or not because it's coming from this frog.
Sure.
But they're all feelings that we all feel.
Right.
And I just think, I mean.
And I think it would be honestly less relatable if it was my face attached to those feelings because I think.
Well, one, it didn't come through you.
What do you mean?
Like if you would just show like your face, right? That's just you. But the frog that you draw, that comes out of you.
Right.
And you put that on paper.
Yeah.
And so I think subconsciously it's a very authentic thing. People feel that, you know what I mean? Because if I just saw your face, well, what makes you different than anybody else is showing their face on social media, right?
Exactly.
But it's almost like, I never thought of it this way, but it's almost like it had to go through you to get out, to be this thing. Like if it had just stayed surface level, it would feel like how I feel about a lot of people, which I'm like, I think the story is more for you and you processing your shit than you're trying to help me.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
Which is kind of dick. But like that happens.
No, I think you're right.
You know what I mean?
And specifically on social media, I think it happens a lot.
Well,
I think a lot of people.
It's so easy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want to hear themselves talk. Whereas like I don't ever really want to put my face on social media, specifically on my frog account, because then I think I'll be deduced to the white woman that like thinks that she knows everything about life. You know, because people can be pretty harsh behind a keyboard. So.
Well, yeah, it's like. How can you attack this cartoon frog?
Exactly. That's what I'm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure people can. You know,
can, but like, I mean, you know,
and they have, and like, you know,
what?
Yeah, like the other day, I posted something about like I can't believe I'm going to say this, but like maybe I fucked up. Like I posted. Do you need me to like be right here? I posted this cop frog on Martin Luther King Day that said like, "Excuse me, miss, do you have a permit for that fat juicy ass that you're carrying?"
Okay, really quickly. When you did that, was there were you thinking of Martin Luther King at all?
No.
Okay. I just want to check real quick. Okay.
No,
proceed.
not
Yes,
at all.
I
No,
know,
and I think
know.
that's probably that probably speaks to my life experience as a white woman. It's not something that I even thought about would be something. I don't know, like, because I don't know. I don't want to say, but I had immediately, like within 10 minutes of posting it, I had a friend of mine reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, I just want to let you know that this kind of is like a little bit tone deaf that you've posted this on this day." And I was like, and then like I had a KRS-One caption that was like, talking about the sound of the police. And I thought it was funny and cute. And like, I didn't really think too much.
I think I liked it.
Yeah, it was funny, like whatever. I would have liked it too if it wasn't mine, but she said that and I was like, you know what, maybe she's right. I'll delete the caption. And I deleted the caption. And then like maybe a few hours later, somebody was like, this is sexist. And it's like tone deaf because you're posting it on Martin Luther King Day. And then like right at that point, I was like, you know what? I don't need it up. I don't need it. Like, I'd rather not have the backlash. Like it's just supposed to be a funny joke. Like, it wasn't supposed to be like, if anybody can interpret it any other way, it's like, I don't.
This is, I've been pondering this a lot longer than we've been sitting here. People's intentions are what should matter.
Yeah.
Okay. They're in the intentions behind whatever you're doing should be what matters. So, like, just like you, the reason I stopped you, I was like, "Hey, answer this question for me real quick," because I was like, I'm pretty sure like she like had no idea it was Martin Luther King Day, or didn't like connect the two in a way that would be whatever.
No, the only thing I was thinking was that everybody has off work, so they're probably on their phones. I should probably post something that's funny.
Funny, right?
That's it.
And so, like, your intentions behind that were just to be funny.
Yeah.
But somehow, I don't know how well these people that commented know you, but like, if they know you,
yeah,
they should know that wasn't your intention. And if they're trying to protect you, like, I mean, I'm kind of like, well, let me worry about myself.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, if there's backlash to this, don't pre-interject. You know what I mean? I appreciate your concern, but like, this is my art.
Sure.
Because so if I want to leave it up, I'm going to leave it up. If you don't want to be my friend, don't be my friend.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? That's how I would kind of feel about it.
That's how I felt initially. And then a stranger said something and I was like, you know what? But I'm not even going to play in these waters.
But I think that is a fair, but also a stranger doesn't know you.
Sure.
So they're rolling that interpretation through whatever lens that they have about you.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair.
I'm just going to say this. I didn't know, like, not knowing you, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
You're super cool. I really like you a lot.
Oh, thanks, dude.
You know what I mean? Like,
I've
been having so much fun, right? But, you never know.
Sure.
And so, like, I'm glad. But, like, I mean, it could have easily been, like, super horrible.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a little sidebar. All right. So, I really want to ask you, you started doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
In 2021? 2021?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Look at my memory.
Dang, killing it. I had to think about it.
Well, you wrote it on the form, so I just
I see.
Yeah. No, I'm secretly stalking you on your page and all your jiu-jitsu posts. All right, so, and I've already we talked about this earlier. I want to get into a martial art. So just, what I really want to know is what it's done for you physically. Like, you can say physically what it's done, right?
Mm-hmm.
But more mentally and more in a way that's made you better. What has it done for you mentally that's helped you like a lot, or that you like, or whatever? And it can be the act of doing it. It could be signing up. It could be, a tournament. What is it about it that you feel yourself growing?
Oh man, I could talk about this one for a while.
Knock yourself out. I'll take a break from talking.
So I had a therapist in 2021. I was like talking about, this is like kind of like, I don't want to say towards the end of the pandemic, because I think we're technically still in it, but it was like towards when everybody started to get vaccinated and people started to go outside more. My social anxiety was on 12. I was super nervous in social situations. And my therapist gave me the task to try to push myself to do new things. Anything new, because when you the more you switch up your routine, the more you get used to doing different things, the more your body and mind get used to like a new surroundings, like, so it's not as jarring to do anything new. So she was like, I had dated a dude. We dated for a while. We went to Southeast Asia together, and he was a practitioner. And I remember we were in Cambodia, and he had just finished taking a class. He like had to bring his gi with him. And I was like, at the time I was like so annoyed that he had to do it.
Really quickly.
Yeah.
What's a practitioner?
It's just a jiu-jitsu practitioner, somebody who practices jiu-jitsu.
Okay. Because I was like, is he like a teacher? That's what I wanted. Yeah, okay.
I mean, I think he's a teacher now, but, like, at the time he wasn't.
Got it.
So I remember he was coming out of a class, and I had just finished up at the gym, and somebody stopped him because he had a gi in his hand, and they were talking about it. And the guy looked at me and was like, "Do you train?" And I was like, "No, of course I don't." And at that moment, I think, and then also I remember him saying to me that he didn't think that I would be the type that would want to train jiu-jitsu. And I remember taking that and swallowing it. And at the time I didn't really think anything of it, but my therapist pushed me to do something that was like outside of my normal routine. And I had jiu-jitsu on my mind from the previous experience of dating that guy. And so I like tried a class out, and I did not understand what I was doing at all. Still don't really understand what I'm doing, but like,
it's cool to learn, isn't it?
It's really cool because I think I've always relied on my athleticism. Like, I went to college for exercise science. I've always been, really, in my body. Like I've always known how to use it, and to show up and not be able to rely on my athleticism at all. Like nothing lends itself to jiu-jitsu. Like me dribbling a basketball has nothing to do with how you train and how you show up on the mats. And I really like that. I also really love puzzles. I don't even remember the initial question, but like I can keep. I was
like, tell me puzzles. Just go. I asked you what you like about jiu-jitsu. Like I was asking your experience with jiu-jitsu. So just keep going. You're good.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I think it's really cool to be bad at something. Like just going in and knowing that you suck at it. Okay. It gives you the freedom to just be whatever you are.
But okay, I agree. Have you always felt that way?
No.
Okay.
Never. Not until jiu-jitsu.
Okay. Could you see how that someone that's never experienced that doesn't understand why that would be cool or good or fun?
Sure.
So I'm just saying you should try this. Like but you're absolutely right. Like it's so cool to not know how to do something and then to try to do it. Like starting a podcast. Like, I mean, that's what this is, right? Or like in my spare time, I paint sneakers. Yeah. But there's YouTube University. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So like there's no reason why you can't try something you have no idea how to do and be bad at it. Yeah. And just like and grow inside of it, because that's the best part.
It really is.
The best part is the growing part of it, right? The best part of the podcast, other than kind of doing the podcast, was building the garage.
Totally.
Because once it's built, now I'm just kind of like, well, now what do I do?
I mean, you're kind of forced to do something.
Well, I've started replacing stuff now. It's like, like you ever seen those people that they're so tattooed they couldn't possibly probably fit another tattoo on them, so they just black shit out. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, are that addicted to it that they'll just black it out? Like, it's like I got to do something.
Yeah.
Or have you ever met anybody that's so heavily tattooed, got them removed?
And then tattooed again. Or have you seen the people that get tattoos over top their tattoos because their tattoos have faded?
Yeah.
I
mean, like it's like, I mean, there's something there, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, jiu-jitsu and the puzzle. I derailed this.
Yeah. No, I don't. It's, so like, I think that there are very few times in your life that your brain and your mind and body are in the same place at the same time. And I think that magic happens when that happens. I think that, even when you're going for a walk, or doing anything with your body is so used to it that your brain will go somewhere else to keep itself occupied. The brain thinks that's what it does. But the second that I get on the mats, I'm fighting for my life. So I have to be there. I have to be present. And I love it because we all show up knowing that we suck, and we're all there to get better. And it's a group of people that I would have never met outside of those walls, because there's, there's like so many different kinds of people. There's dentists, there's lawyers, there's, personal trainers, and and we all have decided to come together to equally suck at something and to learn together, which I think has brought me a community that I didn't know that I needed as badly as I needed it until I got there. And now at this point, it's become less about jiu-jitsu and more about the things that jiu-jitsu has brought me, the byproducts. I love training jiu-jitsu. I love learning. It's a really fun game. But the community is unmatched. Like, learning about myself and the way that I show up when things suck is fucking awesome. And like, yeah, like I've always been athletic. I've always really liked exercise. So like my body composition hasn't really changed. But other than like, getting cricks in the neck,
Do you feel like on any level you're more mobile than you used to be?
Immobile?
No, more mobile. Like you have more mobility because you're getting pulled. Like you're getting stretched probably a lot. You know what I mean? Like pulled in these ways, and so your ability to either get out or to stay in has to do with a level of like how much your body bends. Is that correct?
No,
Okay.
Maybe not, because you bend in different ways. Like, the way that jiu-jitsu works is that it's kind of like anti-yoga, like instead of getting bigger, you're kind of told to get smaller. So like,
but I mean, even in getting smaller, you have to have that mobility to do that, right? Like you have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me ask you this. Do you still get sore?
From jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Outside of getting choked, no.
Like, did you get sore in the beginning?
Yes. I remember I've never gotten sore like that before.
So that's what I'm talking about. So like, the reason you didn't even get that sore is because you didn't ever move like that.
Yeah.
And now that you move like that on a regular basis, when you're like 70, you're going to be like, fuck yeah.
I hope so.
That's my goal is.
Hopefully I don't like totally ruin my body with jiu-jitsu. That's one thing I get kind of nervous about. Like, if I can get to Thursday in the training week and not have injured myself, I'm fucking winning. Being 36 is tough, dude, because I in my mind, I'm in my early 20s. Like I'm just a cooler 25-year-old, but like in my body, whenever I roll with a 25-year-old, I'm like, damn, man, chill. Like,
well, like now, like, so just, this has happened in the last like 6 months or so. Like, so I wear prescription glasses, but like either I'm gonna have to make a choice to make, the text messaging bigger on my phone.
Oh no!
Or wear readers.
Oh no! You got to that point.
And so like now I wear readers around my neck so I can like look at my phone, and I'm just like, I had this thought literally today. I was like, I need to get one of those like band things so I can just let them hang so I don't lose them. Like, I mean, I was just like, what the fuck?
It happens so quick, dude. It sneaks up on you.
I mean, it really does. You know what I mean? So it's like, man, if that kind of stuff's going to fail me, I got to like try to take care of like what I can.
Yeah.
I'm officially the weird guy at the gym that does all the weird stretching, and people are like, he's kind of being sexual over there, like with his moves and stuff.
Sure.
I have no idea what's going on around me because I'm there to like make my body feel good.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Same. I am also that person. Like I love getting to the mobility part of my, exercise career, or like the way that I show up at the gym, because I used to show up for other people. I used to show up to like make my body look like a certain way. And now at this point it's like, nah, I just want to feel good. I don't know. I think it happened the second I started to go to a gym that didn't have mirrors. I stopped paying too much attention to what I looked like and was like, oh, I just want to feel good because I want to feel what this exercise feels like. And now I'm just here. It's like less about me. I want
to go do shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like I want to move my body. I don't necessarily want to stare at myself anymore. Like this is like, I don't know. And like I have like a membership at Gold's because of, it's interesting what jiu-jitsu is so all encompassing. Like it's like, I got to like I got to have a membership to get stronger. I had to go to Golds to get stronger for jiu-jitsu. It's not necessarily for me anymore. Like it's because I want to just be better on the mats. I never thought I'd be here. I never thought I'd be saying this.
Well, I feel that 100%. Like I think about the way I'm living my life now, and I'm like, I never would have imagined I would be here. I mean, like 2 years ago, like I had 2.5 years ago, I had a baby.
Yeah.
I never thought I would be like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I never thought I'd be here, but here I am.
Yeah.
A lot of this just taught me that you can never really rule out possibilities. Like, they'll never say never, right? But the more you understand that things always change, the easier it is to handle change, and the more devastating the event, the easier it is to not roll it off, but like to process it and move forward.
Yeah.
Because whether you decide to move forward or not, the world's moving forward. So you can either run alongside it, or you can wait back. But if you wait back, it's a lot of catching up, and there's a lot of space there. Like you're better to just try to stay in the trajectory as much as possible.
Yeah, I was having this conversation last night, actually. Same thing. Why are you interested in a martial art? Why haven't you taken the step? And like, why, when you say martial arts,
like I've been put on the spot right now.
I mean, but like, why do you say martial art? Why do you not want to commit to like a specific one?
Oh, because I don't know anything. I don't know anything about any of them.
Okay.
Like I don't know what encompasses jiu-jitsu versus karate versus Muay Thai versus whatever. I don't know. I don't know what any of that means.
Okay.
Like all those things I'm saying are just words.
Sure.
So I want to and the only reason I haven't done it yet is just I kind of want my daughter to get a little bit older so she can go with me.
Yeah, true. That's cool.
And so like, I'm assuming she has to be out of diapers, right? There's a part of that. And just making the time, like trying to get my schedule where I can, because I don't want to commit to it and not commit also the time in
Fair.
the sense of like, it is in my schedule is something that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because then you could just easily blow it off. And so, right now in my daughter and what age she's at, and taking on the podcast and then my regular job and trying to be a good partner, like that's enough, right? Plus I exercise, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But it's on my list. But remember, I just got to the part where like I'm wanting to be mobile and stuff. Like I just got out of this knucklehead phase into like, hey, this is really your body and the longevity is important. So I feel like that's my trajectory.
Yeah. All
like,
right.
And that's why I asked you, like, hey, did you get bent in places, like weird ways that you like never would imagine, and like where you sore? Because like that's what I predict the first time that like you kind of grapple with somebody, like you're gonna get bent in ways that you didn't know you could be bent, and that you didn't know you could like get out of, or the puzzle part of it you talked about. I'm just fascinated.
Yeah, I think you also like learn how to not get bent in certain ways.
Yeah.
It's
chess, right? It's kind of a chess game of sorts, right?
It's body chess.
Yeah,
it's like
body chess.
3D body chess.
3D body chess,
which is not like chess at all. But like, yeah, I
well, the thinking part of just about anything is the coolest part. Like, just think about baseball, and the pitcher is deciding what pitch he's going to throw, and the batter is looking for a multitude of pitches and trying to decide which one it's going to be. It's chess, right?
I see.
It's basketball's the same way. Where's the ball going to go next? How's the offense flow? Who's going to get, like,
I see.
And the mental part of all that stuff is, in my opinion, is the thing that most people take for granted about playing sports or the interaction of sports. I want my daughter, not because I think that she'll be some great athlete. I just want her to have to, I mean, you said it, like I didn't. Okay, let me back up. I have this question. What is the thing we do that everyone does the most of that we are actually present? Okay. My answer so far is driving. It should be the one thing where you are absolutely present at that time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But you said, like, when you do jiu-jitsu, you have to be very present. I want my daughter to understand what that means. And I feel like playing a sport or having something that you have to do in the present for whatever, like that's what helps create groundness and the connection and everything that you kind of talk about that you're getting out of jiu-jitsu. I feel
you think that when you're driving, you're the most present? I get in the car and black out. I can get to my destination and be like, what the fuck?
But you're not getting on your phone, right? You try, or at least
I try not to.
I think we can all say that everyone is trying not to. No one is totally off your phone all the time.
Yeah.
Everybody's.
I am a DJ in my car though.
Yes,
like I need.
there has a certain level, right?
Yeah.
But like, I was trying to think of the thing that you have to pay most attention to in that moment by yourself. Like, so like when I'm with my daughter, I have to be in the moment, but it's because I'm paying attention to her.
Sure.
What is the thing I do that I have to be the most present for? And then my second thought was like, how do I duplicate that in other aspects of my life of maintaining that present? Like, it's so bad for me, that like, you know, like I'll watch a movie and get on my phone.
Same.
How stupid is that?
Like, I mean, I'm not really watching the movie.
Yeah, and I have to literally put my phone down and tell myself, do not pick this up or watch this movie.
Yeah.
You're wasting time watching it. Now you're gonna waste double time.
Yeah.
You know?
And also like the stimulation of hearing what's going on your phone and the movie. It's just over stimulus.
And so anyways, I'm not saying driving's right. I'm just saying that was my
Okay, all right, okay. I didn't want to poo-poo on you, but like you might be present, but
I mean, I think you have to be some level of present because you drove the car from point A to point B.
Yeah.
You know, it might be easy presence.
Sure.
But I mean, like, you know, like you have to be somewhat like paying attention on some level.
I guess.
Yeah, that is a good question.
I mean, I don't know. I said it earlier. Like, I think whenever my body is doing something that I'm so used to doing, my brain will go somewhere else. And the only thing that I find where I'm actually present is when I'm painting and when I'm training jiu-jitsu. Outside of that, my brain is anywhere else. Unless I'm having a good conversation, like now. Like right now. When I'm having great convos, dude.
Don't think about much, right?
No, not really. I'm only thinking about like what they're saying. Was that her?
All I know is that you do art and that you don't have your same job anymore, and that's it. You know what I mean? And that you have a mustache tattoo on your finger, and so does Aaron. So
stupid. Hey, respectfully, I don't mean to like talk shit on Aaron, but like.
Okay, let me ask you real quick. Why do you think it's so stupid?
Because it's on my fucking finger, dude.
But you have other tattoos on your hands.
They're all. I mean, they're all really. I mean, like I'm covered in silly tattoos, but like this one in particular, like it's silly and stupid for me because I got it tattooed, and then I was like, that's not big enough. Like I need a bigger mustache on top of the mustache that I got already. Cause like, I just never was able, I got the too much gene. Like, I just don't know how to like
turn it off.
Yeah. So like, you know, it's always run through me. So like, yeah, when I was 19, I was like, I need to cover up my mustache with a bigger mustache. And now it's like the mark of the millennials is having this mustache.
Is it really?
I feel like it is. I feel like this was like really popular. I mean, like it was trendy in like 2008.
How old are you?
I'm 36. How old are you?
40. I'm going to be 47.
Okay.
Well, when this comes out, I'll be 47.
Okay.
But my girlfriend is 40. She'll be 41. So I was wondering, like, you know, when you talk the mark of the millennials, like she is on that borderline of Gen X millennial, whatever that's called, right? And you're just like below that.
Yeah.
But she has a mustache tattoo on her finger. But you know, she got it with one of her friends, I think. I think that's the story, right? she never, I've never heard her say that it's stupid or that she regrets it at all.
I mean, I don't regret it. I just think.
I mean, you don't know, I'm covered. So
sure.
like I'm covered. Like, you know, so like really quickly, what's your stupidest tattoo? Oh
man, I'm covered in so many stupid tattoos. I don't even know where to begin. I've got so many dumb ones.
Just give me one.
One time my friend misheard me. We were talking about getting stick and poke tattoos. She misheard me. I was getting a stick and poke tattoo with my friend Liz. And I told her that Cabell wanted to join, our third friend Cabell. And I said, Cabell wants a piece of pizza. And she was like, well, she should go get one. And it became this like really big inside joke. It actually really wasn't even a big inside joke. So we both got Cabell wants a piece of pizza tattooed on us. How I couldn't even tell the story enough to make you make sense, like to make sense of it.
Do you want me to tell you my dumb tattoo story?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So me and my ex-wife went to brunch. We were both like bartenders and we started talking about different types of shots. Right. And do you remember you ever had a shot called a Dragon Baby?
No.
I think it's like Bacardi and Red Bull. I don't remember.
Okay.
It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of like sitting there at brunch and like, I think we're hungover. And I was just like, what if there was like a baby dragon? Okay. And he was like, he was dragging a baby, and then it would be dragon babies. Right. And so on my leg, I have a baby dragon dragging a baby.
Oh no, that's pretty stupid.
Yeah. But like, it's one of my, it's my favorite tattoo. It's the one everyone always asks about. Oh, on this knee, I have the top part of a Pop-Tart.
That's fucking awesome.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, so roughly what percentage of your body is tattooed, do you think? 50%?
Probably.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more.
Did you start with a bunch of dumb tattoos, or did you start with fairly meaningful ones?
No.
You started with dumb ones?
My first tattoo, I was like, this needs to mean something. So I got like,
that's everybody's first tattoo needs to mean something, right? Hey, it doesn't mean shit, by the way.
Yeah, it really doesn't mean fucking anything. But like, I'm so glad that I got like the lower back tattoo of like the Little Prince. It's like a character in a book. And then after that, I was like, wait, we're all gonna die. This is so dumb. Like, why don't I just like fuck around and find out? And I had a crush on my tattoo artist at the time, so I was like, do whatever you want, And now I'm covered in like skulls and snakes and like, which was like it just like lowered the bar enough for me to be like, who cares? Like, I'll get whatever. Who fucking cares?
I can appreciate that. I didn't start off that way. I started off more the other way, where like the first one had like a lot of meaning, and then the second one had some meaning, and then the third one meant something, and then the fourth one like felt pretty good. Yeah. And then like the fifth one, it's like, well, man, I could just do a whole fucking sleeve. You know what I mean? Like that's the way, that was my process, right? Sure. But now, like, I don't want to say most of my tattoos are stupid, but most of them have a personal meaning. Like, you get to a point where it just doesn't matter.
Totally, yeah. I committed to a look. Like, you've already
gotten this far.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So like, what's another? Yeah. Like one time I remember I was like drinking coffee at my coffee table, just like any other day, and I was like, man, coffee fucking rules. I immediately called my tattooer and was like, do you have an appointment today? I want a shitty cup of coffee on the back of my arm. And like, it's prime real estate.
Do you have a tattoo list?
I don't know what that is.
Like just a list of tattoos you want to get?
No, not at this point.
I keep a list. I keep a tattoo list of like stuff that I like. And sometimes I'll go back and go, ooh, glad I didn't do that one or whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like a lot of times, like I'll get a feeling like I want a tattoo. Yeah. And I'll kind of just go to my list. And I'm like, this is the time I'm going to get a pirate like dragging a tire going, tire.
No, I'm not like going back to what we were saying earlier, but I think probably before we were recording, like, if I go into things underprepared, I feel better about it. So like, if I just have an idea that day, I'll just go and get it. And if I end up not liking it, then it's like, well, it's because I didn't prepare myself, Yeah,
you're like, I didn't prepare. So
it's not my fault.
But, okay. So what I find kind of more interesting about that is like, that's a very being in the moment type of thing. Yeah. Is that easy for you to be in the moment?
It's much easier
than to plan ahead.
I'm not a big fan of planning because then I can overthink it. And then if it doesn't go the way that I had planned it to go, then I'm like, fuck, everything's fucked,
Well, I feel like, one, no matter how much you plan, you will not change the future. You could change kind of maybe the directions it's going. But like, there's no way to know exactly what's going to be in front of you on any day. You can go anywhere, get in a car wreck. I mean, it's just like,
which is terrifying.
Yes.
So scary.
Like if you thought about that all the time, right?
Yeah.
But I will say that you have to look a little bit behind you, a little bit ahead of you. Being in the moment's the best place to be. And there are these characteristics of people that be in the moment that don't get caught up too much in like, oh, this tattoo. You know what I mean? Like, or, oh, like, and us trying to organize this, like, your car got in an accident or like you ran over something, lost your bumper or whatever. Yeah. But I was just like, I was like, cool. This is like, let's just reschedule. Like, I mean, like, I'm not like, I'm trying to go with the flow of this. Sure. You know what I mean? And I think that's really hard for people. It's hard enough for them to be in the moment, but just to go with the flow. Yeah. Like, I mean, you said that, okay, was your first tattoo artist, is that the one you had the crush on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't tell him that.
Well, I mean, I don't even know who he is. So,
Perfect.
Okay. I mean, he might know who he is, but I have no idea who he is. But I guess my question is like, so like at the very beginning, you were like, hey, just do whatever you want, right? I didn't get to that level. Like I still tried to control my tattoos for like a really long time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Control what he was going to do.
Sure.
And then it comes back to that old, like, I don't come to your job and slap the broom out of your hand thing. And when I gave over everything to the tattoo artist, my tattoos like exploded. They got so much better. Now, that's not to say that there's stuff on my body that I was like, I wouldn't have done it that way. You know, like but I also, I've forgotten. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was in that moment, I was like, oh, like it sucks. I don't want that to look like that, but like I don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think at this point, my tattoos are like so much a part of me that like it's interesting that we're talking about this because I do believe that like one of the most boring things about me are my tattoos. Like
Why
I mean,
is that?
like because everybody at this point is tattooed, and it's like it's actually really nice because I remember when I first started getting tattoos, my mom was like, really?
Yeah.
You know, and then like I moved to New Zealand, came back the next year, and you know, my mom likes to buy stuff, and I came back that next year, and she was like, "Look, I got you this," and it was a Barbie doll. It was a tattoo Barbie doll, and she's like, "It's becoming more mainstream. Like they've made it on the Barbies now," and like it's funny to think back in the moment how it was like really, I was really pushing against what was normal at the time, and now it's just like, yep. There's another motherfucker with like a bunch of tattoos, you know, like it doesn't mean anything.
I feel I'm with you like 100%, right? Like, okay, like both my arms are done, my chest is done, my whole back is done. I got shit on my legs, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
So like I go get a tattoo from my tattoo guy and I'm like, and I was like, oh, I was thinking about tattooing like I have tattoos on my hands, but I was thinking like tattooing my knuckles and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was talking to him about like the history of it. And at some point he goes, you know, it's not something he's done. And he goes, it's not really old school traditional tattoo artists really probably wouldn't do that per se.
What, tattooing knuckles?
Knuckles. It would be something that was more reserved to like people that were in prison or like a biker or something like that. But like just, you know, as a standard tattoo artist, you know, back in the day, he goes, but now, he goes, everybody does everything.
Yeah.
Like my original tattoo artist, he would not tattoo my hands, my neck, or my face. Like he would not do it. Like he goes, you can go somewhere else and get it done, but he goes, well, I'm not going to do it.
Sure.
And like at the time, I was kind of like, well, that's kind of fucked. But now, and being so heavily tattooed and so much later, I'm like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, this is going to sound shitty. It's all right. Sometimes when when you meet those people and like they have like a full set sleeve, like it's not like a bunch of random shit put together.
I understand what you're saying.
But it's like the full sleeve and it has a theme and stuff like that. It's kind of like on some level, sorry if you have one, I apologize.
I don't. I have a feeling I know what you're about to say, but I'm actually really excited to hear it.
It's not like you're heavily tattooed. Like you're not like that's not the thing. That's not what we're doing here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just what would you think I was going to say?
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I like, but man, I don't want to sound shitty either.
I'm being a snob right now.
I understand,
but I'm also heavily tattooed, so I can have an opinion about it.
I think I know. Yeah, I am too, and I think I don't want to say that I have the right to, but like I've been heavily tattooed way before tattoos.
It was cool.
Yeah, way before it was cool. And like seeing people get tattooed now, I'm like, damn, dude, do you even have a bad tattoo? Like, do you even have a tattoo that you regret? Because you really thought out that whole theme of that sleeve. You know, like, I want to know one that you regret, that you're like, this kind of sucks.
But,
that's when I think, when you get to that point, I'm like, all right, so you understand what being tattooed feels like on a level that I think that someone who has like a themed, planned out tattoo really doesn't get. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah. Because tell me if this makes sense. It gives the illusion of that you have control. Yeah. It gives the illusion that you planned like this. The guy's just doing what he asked you to do. If he's a black and gray guy, you know, he's just mapping out the way he normally does. Well, and those are fine. Like I don't have like a problem with it. Just maybe it's just not what I would do.
Sure.
Like, and it's the way I feel about sneakers on some level. Like, I'm an old school sneakerhead. I've been collecting shoes since I was like in junior high, right? I've been collecting tattoos forever.
Yeah.
It's a way that I go about it. And there are other people that agree with me, but then obviously there's not, because there's people that get, full sleeves together or whatever else it is.
Sure.
You know what really, like, this is not your experience based on what you told me so far, but you can correct me. So like when I started getting tattoos, I had to hide them from my parents, right? And when these people like roll out and their first tattoo is just like on their hand, I'm like, bro, do you understand what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
Like they're called job killers, like for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, why are you starting on your arm? Start like on your butt. Like start like somewhere that can't be seen.
Sure.
Like get a feel for it. My ex-girlfriend was heavily tattooed when we dated, but she is almost full bodysuit now. And the ugly things that people would say to her about her being tattooed, I was like, no one would say that shit if I was standing there.
Sure.
But they were so rude to her and stuff like that. And that's a tangent. But she gets it. Like she's tattooed like I'm tattooed. She collected the way I collected. Even her like leg sleeves and stuff like that are not full, like they go together in that way.
Right.
But now that I say that out loud, it's like, if somebody gets like a full bodysuit, it has to like match up somehow. And so like, I'm complaining about this one guy's arm, but to me, it's different.
I guess like I kind of, when you said like a sleeve that was like planned out, my brain immediately went to Disney adults, not necessarily like old school, like Japanese style tattooers.
Yes.
Like I feel like that's a beautiful piece of artwork that like I feel like that. I feel like this conversation is so it's like it can only fit if you're an old school, heavily tattooed, a tattoo collector. Like, because I don't want to shit on like that Japanese style of tattoo work, because I think it's gorgeous, and I wish on some level that I did that.
Well, I wish I wish on some level I would have gotten more black and gray.
Same. Yeah.
But
I'm covered in color tattoos, and like I don't regret it, but like if I could Control Alt Delete and then like put on other ones, I might put on some more black and gray.
That I would put more. I would have a couple portraits or something like that. You know what I mean? But I don't know where I would put them. And the way I collect tattoos, it doesn't jive. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, like that can't really have that. Although I'm saving this leg. There's a girl here in town. Shout out to Jamie Hood. If you'll tattoo me, that would be awesome. I'm paying, but I want her to do Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Like when he's showing him the thing, and the car goes off the table, and it hits thing, and he goes, and he's like, "Great Scott." You know what I mean? Like, I want Great Scott like written underneath it, like like that, or at least that face, like that. Anyways, but I like that. That was good. I've never talked about tattoos that much.
That's cool. I haven't really either.
And I
because I feel like at some point it really switched over from being like, oh, she's the girl with a lot of tattoos, to like, oh,
she lives in Austin.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
No, it really. I also think, okay, when was the last time you went? Maybe I want to say out of the country. Out of the country might be good, but just like. Not in Austin where you knew you're like, oh, I'm different here.
Yeah. I mean, I think it happens. I don't even have to, it's even just like leaving the outskirts of Austin, like, and it happens every spring because my legs are really heavily tattooed. And anytime I put shorts on for the first time, I feel eyes on me.
Yeah, well, it's like you have to readjust.
Yeah. And because like even me, like even looking at myself in the mirror, like the older I get, the more I'm like, damn, I really did all of that, like, because I forget about them because like I don't see them anymore.
Yeah, I don't think about it.
Yeah.
Like the only time I think about it is when someone points it out.
Sure.
Sometimes if people are staring.
Sure.
But like even then I'm kind of immune to that now. And then when people do weird shit to me, like I was eating at a Luby's and the waitress literally like pulled my arm up like,
oh God,
with like my fork in it. I was like, yo, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I was at a gas station, I was checking out, and then all of a sudden I just felt like these hands on my leg. and a lady had been down and was like rubbing her hands on my calf because my cat, I have like a sock, right? It's like she was, and I was like, yeah, what? She goes, oh, I just want to see if you could like, if it had like
A texture.
And I was like, ask me first.
It's so funny that people like need to see with their hands. Like it happens specifically with tattoos,
look,
though.
I get it, but ask me first.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's like the pregnant baby thing, you know, like you touch women's bellies. Like you should ask first.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to wrap this tattoo conversation. This is what I think it is. I think that just like anything else, there's different kinds of stuff, right? So there's like the Japanese and that whole look, right? There is like kind of what we're doing. And then there's people that like plan out sleeves.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'm glad I'm in the category that this is where I want to be.
Same.
If I wanted big ass Japanese tattoos, I guess I would have got them.
Sure.
Or if I wanted a full plan sleeve, I guess I would have done that.
Yeah.
But apparently I didn't. But I'm glad I did it this way. This feels most authentic to me as a tattoo collector.
Same.
Right? There.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
I'm getting comfortable.
Well, here's what I was like kind of so you had your leg up or whatever, you know? And like I don't see any tattoos like on your ankles. So like when you say you're covered, it must be just right.
Yeah, it's right above, right below.
Yeah. Because like my shits, like they're all like down here. Like they're all I have a pineapple grenade. I don't know if that's a dumb tattoo.
I mean, you decide.
No, well, I mean, you know. And then like this one comes almost all the way down.
Yeah,
right?
that's cool.
And then there's you can't. It's my top part of a Pop-Tart. I can't get to it.
That's so stupid. Only boring people get bored. That's what my dad says.
Oh my gosh, that is kind of true though. This is what I found. I have found that the more creative stuff I do, the less TV I watch. The less like TV has now become like, okay, I have 30 minutes before I'm going to go to bed maybe, and I don't have anything else to do, and I'm not really feeling anything. I kind of just want to veg out like right before I go to bed, and then I watch like a 2-hour show. I watch 30 minutes of it, and then I go to bed, and then maybe 4 days from then I watch the next 30 minutes, and then I go, and that's about how much TV I watch.
Same. I mean, I don't even know if I do that, but yeah.
Well, they'll go like, how do you have so much time to do all these things? I'm like, well, if you're not watching fucking TV,
yeah,
or like even like for me, my phone is kind of, it's an art piece, but then it's also just like my social media to do the things I like to do in here.
Yeah.
So now it's just that.
Yeah.
And we don't post pictures of my daughters. So there's none of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so there's not much for me to hang around there, but just look at other people's shit.
Sure.
And I'd rather be making shit.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's my job is on my phone.
Yes.
So like I find myself, you know, it's very easy to be like, well, I'm working, you know, but like, you know, I can.
And so when you say your job is on your phone, is that like posting stuff about your art? Is that like reaching out to people for things and all that kind of stuff?
All of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the networking, the social media aspect, the emails, like it all occurs on my phone. So, you know, outside of like the actual act of painting, that's on my phone.
You said that your dad was an artist. Mm-hmm. Okay. What's his medium? What does he do?
He's an oil painter, and he's a painter in his retirement. So like, you know, I would say.
So he had a regular job or whatever, and then retired and became, because I was curious. I didn't know how long of his life he'd been an artist, but obviously he would have to, if he had been an artist long enough, he would remember a time where there was no social media. Getting your art out there is way more difficult. Yeah. And one of the really cool things about social media is the ability to spread something by sharing it, right? And like as an artist and people that want to do art, I mean, it's got to be just this amazing breakthrough, like to go. Like the reason I graduated with an art degree. I have a BA of Fine Arts and Communication Design. So I was going to do like computer shit, but I had to take all art classes, right? And I took all art all through school. And the only reason I didn't become an artist because I was like, well, how the fuck am I going to make a living? You know what I mean? How do you do that? How do you do that? You know what I mean? And I feel like that social media has given at least like a nice like little like help for artists to make a living.
Yeah, definitely.
Or at least have a side hustle if you want to keep your regular job.
Sure. And
actually have it worth your time than just doing art, you know?
Sure. Yeah, I mean.
Is that rude? Like, is that?
No, I don't think that's rude. I think, you know, I mean, it makes sense. I think it also, you know, it's like a double-edged sword too, because like, you know, I think that the process of making art is the art. The result of the art that you've made
it's just the result.
Just a byproduct.
Isn't that crazy?
But I think when you start to show what you've made on social media, and then all of a sudden the byproduct or the result of what you made is now all of a sudden what you're aiming to get to, and you've not really paid any attention to the process. So like,
you have to find balance there somewhere,
yeah.
right?
So I think my dad, you know, he doesn't really post a lot on social media. And I think in a lot of ways, his art is more authentic because it's like, I'm just doing it, you know, like this is just what I do, instead of like, you know, I don't want to poo-poo that my audience, because I'm really grateful for them and it's why I have a full-time job. But I sometimes feel like I'm performing.
Okay. I have a question for you. Are there days that you don't want to paint?
Of course.
Okay. What do you do on those days?
I paint.
Okay. Right.
Duh.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
But
or I don't paint.
I mean, but there comes a point where you go, like, even on days you don't, like, you can pick days you don't want to paint.
Yeah.
But there are going to be other days where you don't want to paint and you don't get choices on those days.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, so I do this podcast, right? If my morning goes to hell in a handbasket before you get here and we've already made an appointment and or a date, I don't get to choose to go like, can't do a podcast today.
Yeah.
Like I have to put all that shit aside and step into what I'm putting my art and energy effort into.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that. And they don't understand specifically about artists that are like, at least in I have to feel it. Like I have to feel something because I'm an empath, but then like I'm an artist, right? And I think a lot of artists have to be in the mood. And some people don't understand what being in the mood is, but also being in a mood is like being like mad. That is a mood as well.
Sure.
And you can paint while you're mad, even though you don't feel like painting. Maybe something comes out that you've never established before.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is also something my dad says, which is we're going back to like, he always has sage advice. Like inspiration finds you working. Like you're not going to be inspired all of the time. But when you start to work, you'll probably find something that is inspiring that you're making or that you want to make. And you can switch paths and kind of pivot to what you are inspired by in that moment. But like you have to start doing something.
Let me ask you this. Do you find that same kind of idea in jiu-jitsu?
I feel that way in life in general.
But is that feeling new or have you always felt that way?
About like inspiration finds you working?
That like doing nothing isn't, I want to say it never produces something, but like for the most part, like doing nothing's not going to produce anything. You have to do something to produce something, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. You need input to create output.
Right.
Period. And me sitting alone.
Computers work the same way, right?
Yeah.
It's you too, right?
Yeah. So yeah, like me sitting alone on my phone in my bed isn't really going to be very inspiring. But the second I go outside and go for a walk, or the second I start to like, play with the world, I all of a sudden become inspired in a new way.
I heard I read this book and I listened to it, but I took in this, I consumed this book. And part of the book, he just said, he goes, look, there's creators and consumers, right? And a creator is always looking for what the world is going to give to them. And a consumer is always looking for the world's going to give to them. And a creator is looking at what it can put out into the world. And you have this giant canvas, which is your life, to put that out into. So like, why wouldn't you become a creator and less of a consumer?
Yeah.
I found that the happier I get and the more I put out me, the less things I want. I actually am in the process. We were discussing like on a break that I have all these sneakers. I'm in the process of like just bringing my collection down to just what I want.
Yeah.
Instead of having all these extras and selling and doing, like, I'm just going to have my shoes.
Yeah.
Because that's all I need. I don't need any more than my shoes.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend. I feel the exact same way. Like I was talking to a friend the other day and she's like, well, you still have that sweatshirt? She's like, damn, dude, you bought that sweatshirt in like 2015. I'm like, yeah, it's my sweatshirt. Like, I don't really think about buying stuff anymore because I like enjoy my life enough. And like, why would I need more sweatshirts?
Did that, okay, so forgive me if this is what I already asked. you've always had that mindset, or
No.
did that mindset change when you left your job and became an artist?
It's when I started making and creating art was when I sort of was like, I didn't care as much about.
Well, you became a creator instead of a consumer.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is wild because I mean, in a lot of ways, I think we've been taught that like we can't be creative. I don't.
Well, yeah, because being creative doesn't do much for the money line
Exactly.
of business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like being a consumer, like, I mean, I'm assuming we're the greatest consuming, like the United States is the greatest consumer of everything, right?
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just like how much, like, I wrote this tweet. It was like, how do you reverse a mindset of thinking that like you need everything?
Yeah.
Like, how do you reverse that mindset? It feels so ingrained into our United States.
I mean, you're right. Because I'm doing this series on Morocco right now. And like, it's because anytime I leave the country, I'm like, damn, everybody's so much happier with less. Like, because it's cheaper to travel to third world countries, you know, I like tend to go to them. And I have like, I love Southeast Asia. I love Thailand. I love Vietnam. I love the feeling there because I feel like God's still there. Like, because we're not constantly being advertised to having like the next best iPhone shoved down our throat. Like, it's like, and we're all just kind of struggling to like pay our bills and like, and we're constantly trying to keep up with the Joneses. Whereas like you go literally anywhere else that's like not westernized, they're happier with less, you know?
Having a kid, it's so hard not to want to buy her all the toys.
I bet.
You know what I mean? But we don't.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not because we couldn't.
Yeah.
But like we tried. I'm not saying we're trying to make her happier with less, but we give her a lot of crayons and paints. We give her a lot of stuff, chalk. We give her all these things to create. We give her instruments. We're giving her all this stuff to express herself in this way. And I never thought of it this way, but like, because the things we give her allow her to be expressive in some way, she probably becomes more of a creator than a consumer. When you give something where it's like it ends, you've consumed that.
Sure.
Right. And then you move on to the next thing. And then I need another thing. And now I have a bunch of toys.
Yeah.
Right. I'm mind blown right now. I feel like that, but it wasn't like, that's what we set out to do.
Sure.
We were just like, we want her to be creative. We want, like, her mom's a musician. I did art. Like, we want her to have a creative, she probably has a creative bone. Sure. You know, and so we want to grow that.
Yeah, there's no way she doesn't have a creative bone. Well, she's 2, right?
She's not going to be, well, yeah. Well, there's that too, right? But I mean, so she's trying to sneak in right now. I mean, how I like to just wrap this thing up, and I'm going to do it a little bit differently this time, is I usually ask people, like, you know, what do they do to take care of themselves so they can take care of everybody else? Yeah. But I'm going to go on a limb and say it's like doing jiu-jitsu, right? Like that's one of the things. That's how you it's like you said, it's where you grow. I mean, it has to make you better for everybody else, right? And doing art, obviously, right? So my question though is, you said that doing art, that's when like you're the most like present, right? Do you listen to music when you do art?
Sometimes.
Okay, not all the time though.
Recently I've noticed that I'm just doing it in silence.
Is that new?
Yeah.
Do you think that was a process, like that you were coming to hear? Like if you had music on the beginning, you were going to get to where you're doing it in silence at some point? I'll tell you the reason why I ask. Because like when I work out, I like to listen to music, and I listen to all kinds of stuff, right? And right now I'm really into classical music when I lift. Like when I lift, like these are doing lifts, like, you know what I mean? I'm into like, and I feel like that I love a good, like, you know, boombastic, heavy rap song. And I love Rage Against the Machine. Like, I mean, I love like the music. I love music, but there's something different about lifting inside of your own thoughts. And I feel like in those moments I get more present. Right. And then it's gotten to a level where it's like, I need my headphones in so people don't talk to me. Sure. Not in a mean way. I just want to work out. Yeah. But like, I just won't listen to anything. I'll just my headphones will be in. That's it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like that in this weird way, it was this natural progression that was I don't know why it happened. And maybe me getting better with myself, or I don't know. So I was just curious, like, about like, because you were talking about how much you love Kanye, and then you said KRS-One, and I was like, oh my God, like I wonder what she listens to what do you listen to when you paint most of the time?
It changes. I mean, I love hip hop.
Okay.
I love hip hop. I think I was born and bred on it. My first CD was the Fugees. Like, I love that. It makes me feel the most. I have a shirt that says rap music makes me feel invincible. And I feel that on a big level. But recently I've started to be like, well, if I need to put all of my focus on this, because if I don't, then I'm not really downloading the message. Does that make sense?
You're making yourself more present.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, it's funny because recently I've been putting on a playlist called Jazz in the Background, and like, that's like just enough music, but it's like, I'm still aware and present with myself. And I think that's interesting that you listen to classical music though.
The coolest part about music now is you have all of it for all time at your fingertips.
Sure.
Because when I was a kid, you had to buy a CD, you had to get a record, whatever. And so you're only limited to what they played on the radio, what you get at Walmart in my hometown, like what you like, what other, there wasn't no mail in them, and you just limits it. But now that I have everything at my fingertips, I just want to hear everything. So like during my warm up the other day, I listened to Jackson Browne, Man on the Run, Running Man or something. I forgot one of his albums just because I could.
Sure. And
I'm not a big Jackson Browne fan. That's what I decided. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, that's why I asked about, but, do you meditate? Do you do any meditation?
Every day.
Okay. So really quickly talk about like why that's so great, why you do it every day, and why it's part of your routine of taking care of yourself.
I do it every day because I was told that it's good for you.
How long did it take before you knew it was good for you?
I mean, I've been on and off meditating since 2013. So I think I've always known that it's good for me. I think it's so hard to like put it into words what meditation does, because it's like I don't feel it when I'm doing it. It's not like this like all of a sudden this like sudden feeling of oh now I'm relaxed. It's like I do it and then I'm like, damn, did I even do anything? And then like when I show up in the world, I show up less anxious. I can take a deeper breath. I can be more present with like the situation at hand.
I think that that's a really hard thing for people to understand. That when you do something that the byproduct isn't immediate, and it's something you could see or feel or touch or whatever, the byproduct is the fact that you cleaned out your head for new shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or I can just fucking sit with myself. Yeah.
Or whatever insecurities you have, like whatever's going on with you, right?
Yeah.
Do you find yourself like meditating like before jiu-jitsu?
I mean, I do it around the same time every day.
Okay,
I do
so
it
like
in the morning.
you're like a one time a day type of deal.
Yeah.
Okay, because like I was just curious. I used to meditate roughly at the same time every day, and I didn't really think about it till now. But like if you're gonna do like a painting, or you're gonna sit down, maybe you don't want to do it that day. Maybe meditating like helps, or like if you had a really tough day and you're gonna go to jiu-jitsu, maybe meditating in between there, even if it was short. Like it's not like if you don't do like maybe a 10 or 20 minute thing, maybe just like 5 minutes or something.
Sure.
My old therapist was real big on certain types of breathing, and so I catch myself just at moments doing this certain type of just breathing, and it's really weird how even when I'm doing it, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing this for?
Sure. Same.
But somehow it works. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
look at that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's not anything I see. It's just like, it's like retrospectively, I'm like, oh, wow. Like I had a better day, or I handled this situation better, or this didn't bother me, or whatever else it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's just like, it's been ingrained in my life for so long now that it's just something that I've never really moved it out of my morning routine unless I like don't happen to make it in the morning that day. But like I do see myself like I can volley off of the meditation practice that I had done that morning if I'm having a rough afternoon before I show up to jiu-jitsu, or like if I'm not present in my body before I start painting, or like if I find myself overthinking a conversation that I had just had, like I can kind of like use the tools that I had like gotten from that day's meditation, but like I don't really ever switch it around. I think because I know, I've been force fed the message that a morning routine is really important. So I try my best to just keep my morning routine as routine as possible.
I think I was telling one of my clients, I was like, I map out a schedule of the day. And that is like my routine of like what I'm doing like that day. And, a lot of it looks kind of like the same. But at the same time, it's just really like a loose plan.
Sure.
So if something diverts in that day for whatever reason on that particular day, it's not like it's just like, oh, this is a blimp and I just kind of go right back to my day or whatever. Like I don't get upset that I didn't hold my schedule, and I don't like just fucking say fuck it because I lost something out of my schedule.
Yeah.
And then the next day I just start over.
Yeah.
And I think that type of consistency is what helps kind of keep you moving forward, because you could get stuck in any one of those little spots.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And again, going back to like painting on days you don't want to paint, or all that routine. Routine sounds like such a bad word.
Yeah.
But it really is, like, because surprise, like when you get older, like when you're like 80 and shit, routine's going to be like huge. Your problem's going to be like fucking getting out of your routine.
Yeah.
And allowing yourself to be out of your routine.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah. I just actually started this past week where I was like, I find myself, I write a to-do list of what I need to do that day. And then I get really I kind of like get shitty on myself if I don't make it through the whole to-do list.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Right. Like, so I decided that I was just going to do this week's obligations. Like, and like I mapped it out. I needed to do 18 things this week. So that means I needed to cross off somewhere around 4
a day,
and any 4 doesn't matter, like.
Okay. So really quickly. So you go through your week, and are you picking the 4 that you want to do that day, or you've picking the 4 easiest one? What I'm curious about is when you get down to that last 4,
yeah,
what's represented in that last 4?
Well, this is just like a new thing.
Oh, okay.
So I don't really know. So it's tough to say, but like the last 4 was like, I'm on Friday today. So like, one of the things was doing this podcast. So like, it's not like, it was more just like, I know that I need to do these things. What 4 do I want to do today? And I would get through, and there would be, on Tuesday, I didn't get to all of them because I had to do something else. So like, I just crossed off the easiest 3,
yeah.
But like, it just made it easier for me to be like, plan on how I'm feeling that day and going with what I want to do that day. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So like I keep a list on my phone. There's like kind of like 2 lists. There's like kind of this like weekly kind of thing. And then there's just like my life list of like things I just want to kind of get done or whatever. And whenever like I want to like watch a movie or do something that seems somewhat mindless, I try to go to my list first and go, is there anything I can knock off this list in the next 30 minutes? And sometimes there is and sometimes there isn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I feel like that, or is there something I could work on my life list, like setting this up for success?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then that makes for me at least, it makes me like really happy and makes my day feel full. And it feels like that I never have enough time, but not like it used to a long time ago before this. Like before, when I didn't have enough time, it's because my life felt so chaotic and out of control.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I don't have enough time because I want to do so much.
Yeah.
And it's weird that it's the same thing, but it's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. You're the manager of your life now.
Well, yeah. Like I apparently like I didn't want to show up for work or something. You know what I mean? Like apparently like I just like this new guy got hired, or I thought I was in control of my life before, but I really wasn't.
Yeah.
And I'm not really totally in control of my life now, but I feel like now I'm giving input. Before I was just taking, again, consumer, I was just taking what the world was giving me.
Yeah.
And now I'm giving input into my life, which feels like about as much control as you can have.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. That's always fun. It's always fun to realize that you can play offense on your life,
Yeah. Like, in fact, like, just like any other sport, like it's the funnest part sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dunking on somebody is like, not, metaphorically dunking on somebody,
Yeah,
but like
I
dunking
understand.
on life is like fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, well, did you have fun doing this?
Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like an official podcast.
Well, you said you've done official podcasts before.
Well, I mean, it was like me doing a Zoom call.
Oh, so like you had to like come, you mean like being in person?
I've never gone in person and done a podcast.
So I have done some podcasts with Zoom and things like that.
Yeah.
But it kind of defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah, that makes perfect. Yeah.
And so like,
now that you have explained what you're trying to do, it makes perfect sense that I had to come here.
Yeah.
But I will say that before I came, I was like, fuck, I gotta go all the way to fucking North Austin. Fuck.
well, but I mean, like, I think for a lot of people, before they do a lot of things, are kind of like, fuck, why did I commit to that?
Yeah.
But then when you get there, it's usually like better.
Yeah.
Like I very seldom do I go do something that I don't say I have to do, but I've committed to.
Sure.
That once I get there, I'm like, oh, this is fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the getting there, it's kind of like, oh, I got to get, I got to do this. I had to work this morning, blah, 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 whatever. But then once you're there, it's fine.
Yeah.
And it's important that you get out and do those things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially now. Like now, wherever we are, whatever it's called right now, whatever this time is, like you have opportunities to go do things. Like, I mean, this is what you were bitching about when we were at home. Like everybody was saying, like when I get out, it was like everybody's in jail. When I get out,
yeah,
I'm gonna be a different man.
It's true.
And then go right back to murdering people. That was a horrible analogy. Hey, I appreciate you doing this. I ask everybody to give me a hug if you don't mind. Yeah. Everybody dodges the microphone. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right.